Hobo does the heavy lifting for you.
So it's like having this like personal SEO assistant that summarizes everything in plain English and highlights those red flags, right? The things you need to focus on.
And the best part is, and Sean really drives this point home in the article, is that Hobo doesn't just tell you what's broken. It actually tells you how to fix it.
Oh, nice.
Like he really emphasizes the actionable insights you get. Things like identifying pages that are underperforming.
You're right.
Flagging any broken links you might have. And even, get this, uncovering potential security risks.
Wow, that's huge. And especially like if you're dealing with multiple websites, think about all the time you'd normally spend, trying to manually identify those buried pages that are not linked properly, the ones Google just has a hard time finding. Hobo, boom, finds them instantly.
And that, my friend, that is a total game changer, especially for agencies, freelancers, anyone juggling a bunch of client sites.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of clients, Sean makes it super clear that Hobo is designed to be budget-friendly.
Okay, good to know.
Even if you're rocking a personal Gmail account.
Which is great because it means you don't need a massive budget to get your hands on some really, incredible SEO insights. And from what I'm gathering, it can handle a crazy amount of client sites.
Yeah, you can handle like an unlimited number of client sites without exploding your API costs.
The API talks.
Yeah, let's break that down for a second because I know API, it sounds a little techy.
Yeah, a little bit.
It can sound like we're speaking another language, but it's actually pretty simple. Think of APIs. Like these little messengers, they allow different software programs to talk to each other.
Right. Yeah.
So in this case, Hobo needs to connect with Google's systems to get all this data right.
Right.
And using those APIs, well, that can get expensive.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, Sean designed Hobo to be super efficient.
Okay.
So it stays well within those free API limits that Google sets.
That's huge. It's like finding those little secret loopholes that save you money.
It totally is. And to make things even sweeter, Hobo plays really nicely with Screaming Frog's scheduled crawls.
Oh, wow.
So you can literally set it and forget it. Let those two do their magic in the background. And here's a small but really cool detail that Sean points out.
Okay.
Hobo will even tidy up your Google Drive.
What?
It automatically moves those used files, the ones you don't need anymore, to the trash after 30 days.
Oh, it's like having a digital cleaning fairy that comes in and just takes care of everything.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And it's those little touches. They just make your life so much easier.
For sure.
And you can really tell that Sean's put a ton of thought into the entire experience.
Right.
From those big picture features down to the little details that make a big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of details, let's dive into some of the awesome stuff that Hobo SEO Dashboard brings to the table.
Okay, let's do it.
Sean lists out, are you ready for this? 34 different features in his article.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. But what really jumped out to me was this whole client email system.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Because we all know keeping clients in the loop, that's like SEO 101, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But manually sending those SEO reports, talk about a time suck.
Oh, it's the worst. I've pulled so many all-nighters just copying and pasting data into emails, trying to make it look somewhat presentable.
Oh, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Hobo just made those late nights a thing of the past.
It sounds like it because this client email system, it automates the entire process. Right?
Yeah. Imagine you've got these personalized SEO reports with your logo, your branding, everything.
Okay.
Sent straight to your clients.
Okay, stop for a second. I need to hear more about this personalization.
Okay, so from what I'm seeing, Hobo, it pulls in all the important stuff from your client list.
Okay.
Like names, obviously, email addresses. It even keeps track of, who's been emailed recently so you're not bombarding anyone's inbox.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. But here's the really cool part.
Okay.
You can customize the actual message that goes out with each report.
Wow.
So no more generic, hey, here's your report emails.
Right.
You can highlight specific stuff, address those individual client concerns. It's like you're giving each one of them a personalized SEO checkup.
That's amazing. Talk about making your clients feel valued.
Exactly.
No more of those generic email blasts. But with all this automation, I've got to ask, does it lose that personal touch?
That's the thing. It actually, I think, enhances it.
Really?
Because Hobo's taking care of all the grunt work, right? The tedious stuff.
Right.
You've got more time and energy to really focus on building those relationships with your clients, right? You can actually dig into the report with them, give them strategic advice. It's awesome.
It's like that saying, right? Work smarter, not harder.
Right.
But Hobo's bag of tricks doesn't stop there.
Right.
This article, it goes deep on some seriously cool features.
Okay, like what?
Remember those pesky missing H1 tags we were talking about earlier?
Oh, how could I forget? SEO 101, but so easy to miss.
So easy to miss. Well, Hobo, it's got this sixth sense for sniffing them out.
Okay.
But it doesn't just stop at identifying the problem.
Right.
It actually explains why those tags are so important.
Oh, nice.
And then it goes a step further and tells you how to fix them.
Wow. It's like having like a little SEO tutor like built right in.
I know.
Yeah.
Right in the dashboard. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not just about the hardcore technical stuff. Hobo also gets that user experience. That's a big part of SEO too.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And Sean talks about how it looks for things like, broken links,
Right.
slow loading times,
Yeah.
all those things that can really make or break a user's experience on a website.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Google wants to show people websites that they're actually going to enjoy,
Exactly.
If your site's a mess, it doesn't matter how much you stuff it with keywords.
No one's going to stick around.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's all about finding that balance,
Right.
between that like hardcore technical SEO
Right.
and creating a site that people actually want to visit.
Right.
And Hobo helps you do both.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a feature that's going to be music to the ears of agencies or anyone, really, who's managing a ton of clients.
Okay. I'm listening.
The Clients tab.
Okay, the Clients tab.
Yeah. This is where Hobo really shows off its, organizational genius.
Yeah, it's like mission control for all things client SEO, right?
Exactly. And Sean mentions that there are a couple ways to, populate this tab, but the automatic method, it sounds like pure magic.
Okay, tell me more.
So picture this. You connect Hobo to your Google Search Console account.
Right.
And boom,
Okay.
it pulls in all your client info, automatically.
Well, wait.
No more manually entering names, websites.
That's amazing.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
It's huge.
It's massive.
And it can. Think of it more like a direct line. Like you set up this direct line to talk to Google and ask some very specific questions about your website.
Okay.
And in return, you get these super detailed answers. So the Google Search Console API, that is our direct line in this case. And man, it's packed with information.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So no need to brush up on my computer science degree to handle it.
No, not at all. This blog post breaks down the entire setup into 12, believe it or not, simple steps. And best part is we'll just be using, your regular free Gmail account.
Okay.
And the free access that Google gives us with that.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's all about making these powerful tools accessible for everybody.
I love that. Yeah, everyone deserves to know what's going on behind the scenes of their website, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So where do we even begin this adventure? Where's our first stop?
Our first stop is going to be the Google Cloud Console, which again sounds a bit intimidating, but it's really just Google's main hub for managing all these cool tools and resources.
Okay, so kind of like a behind-the-scenes control panel for everything Google.
Exactly. And so the first thing that we're going to do is actually create a new project.
Okay.
And you can think of a project as like a dedicated spice. That's where we're going to set up that direct line to the Google Search Console.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So according to this blog post, we got to give this project a very specific name. API access.
I love it. They're so organized.
Yeah.
Having a really clear name like API access keeps everything nice and tidy. Easy to find later.
Just like labeling that toolbox so you know exactly what's in there. All right, so we created our project, called it API Access, and now we're diving into the world of APIs and services. Okay, I'm kind of starting to feel like a tech wizard over here.
You're catching on quick. This is where things get really, really interesting.
Because we're about to enable the Google Search Console API.
Yeah.
Which is basically giving ourselves permission to access all that sweet, sweet website data.
Yes, you got it. You're essentially getting your backstage passes, and we're about to peek behind the curtain here. And from what I hear, there's a lot to see.
That's what I'm excited about. This blog post was hinting at, I can analyze my website traffic, I can see how Google sees my website, and even test how user-friendly it is. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what's next on the setup to-do list?
So the next thing that the blog post mentions is to enable the Search Console API.
Okay.
And then we're going to grab something called a project number from the Cloud Dashboard. And don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it is. And they give us a really handy link to take us right where we need to go.
Okay, so we're enabling the API, which I guess that's like, I don't know, flipping the switch to activate that direct line.
Yeah.
And then we're grabbing our project number, which kind of sounds like that secret code you need to like, I don't know, access a hidden level in a video game or something.
You're not wrong. That project number, that's our unique identifier, so Google knows it's really us requesting this data.
So it's like our own personal key to the Google Search Console treasure chest. Okay, I am ready to unlock this thing. What's next?
So the next couple steps, involve a little bit of copying and pasting, but the blog post really holds your hand through it. They tell you exactly what to put, where to put it.
Okay, so instead of like, overwhelming our listeners with all this technical jargon, maybe just give us the Cliff's Notes version. Like what's the big picture goal for these next few steps?
Yeah, basically we're creating credentials.
Okay.
Which, sounds fancy, but really all it means is we're proving to Google it's really us asking for all this data, right?
Got it.
It's like having like a secure key card to enter the Google Search Console VIP lounge.
Okay, so it's all about security.
Exactly.
Making sure that only authorized personnel can see this data.
You got it. And the blog posts, they even recommend downloading a file with all these credentials in it.
Smart.
Like a backup copy of your VIP key card, just in case.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me who, tends to misplace things from time to time. So once we've got our credentials all set up, what's the grand finale? Like, how do we wrap this whole setup process up?
Believe it or not, we're pretty much there.
No way.
The last step that the blog post mentions is to test the API connection, just to make sure everything's working as it should, like sending a little test message through that direct line that we set up with Google.
And if that message goes through, we are ready to start like harnessing the power of Google Search Console.
Yes.
This is so cool. I got to be honest. I'm feeling very official all of a sudden.
As you should. You're about to unlock so much information about your website.
I know. I feel like a real website analyst over here.
That's right. And remember, this is just, this blog post is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
They even mentioned some other cool stuff we can connect to, like, Google Page Speed, even Google Drive.
Wait, hold on. Google Page Speed? Like the thing that tells me how fast or not so fast my website loads.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
And that's just one example. We can pull in all sorts of data, like about our website speed, the performance, how it stacks up against the competition, and get some personalized recommendations for how to make it even better.
Okay, now I'm seeing the real potential here. It's not just about like, oh, who's visiting my website. It's about understanding how Google sees my website.
Exactly.
And how I can make it better for Google, I guess, too.
Exactly. A data-driven approach. Yeah. Improve your website's visibility, performance, just all around better user experience.
And to think, this all starts with a few simple steps.
Right.
And a free Gmail account. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I am curious, this blog post keeps mentioning something called the Hobo SEO Dashboard.
Yes.
What is that all about?
So the Hobo SEO Dashboard, this is where things get really, really cool. It's like, imagine taking all that raw data from Google Search Console and then turning it into like an actual roadmap for your website.
Okay, so instead of just having like this mountain of data, I have a tool that actually helps me make sense of it all.
Precisely. Imagine this, like a dashboard that shows you exactly which keywords are bringing people to your site, which pages are killing it, which ones might need a little love, even how your website's loading speed compares to your competitors.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal SEO consultant, like on call 24/7.
Yes.
Just analyzing data, and giving these personalized recommendations.
That's it. And remember those other APIs that we talked about connecting to, like Google Page Speed? All those insights, they feed right into this dashboard, giving you this like holistic view of how your website's doing.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, connecting to the Google Search Console API, it's really just that first step.
It is.
It's like, I don't know, I'm unlocking the door to this whole universe of website analysis tools and resources that I can use.
It's true. And the best part is all these tools give you the power to make informed decisions about your website.
This has been seriously eye-opening. I got to say, I kind of feel like I've graduated from like message in a bottle website owner to like captain of a fully equipped digital ship ready to sail.
There you go.
But before we sail off into the sunset here, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, data, it's incredibly powerful. And if you take the time to understand how people are finding you, how they're interacting with your website, you can make it way more engaging, user-friendly, and honestly, just more successful overall.